Obviously, loads to talk about this morning in relation to what's going on in the world of football. And we've obviously all seen the news today that Kobbie Mainoo is open to leaving Manchester United. The issue is where he goes, as there does not appear to be many options ahead of the market closing. So Ornstein confirming what a few others put out yesterday, that the player is open to leaving. I think Andy Mitten said maybe don't expect him to leave, but if a big offer came in, then there may be sort of room for maneuver there. Man United wouldn't turn down a big bid. What's your view on this? Because some people are losing their minds. The world's coming to an end. Others not so bothered. Where do you sit on the idea of United allowing Kobbie Mainoo to leave this summer window?
I think that's the most important point. It's not up to Mainoo, it's up to Manchester United. And Mainoo is only posturing because he's not getting minutes. I did a show at 2:00 yesterday, having spoken to a couple of people, one we both know. And the feedback was basically, this is just posturing. You know, it's not going to happen. Like, Mainoo wants a new contract at Man United. Man United want him to sign a new contract, and he's not actually getting minutes. So to put it out there that, you know, and actually the context of the quote from David Ornstein is that Mainoo would be open to leaving because he doesn't look like he's part of Amorim's plans. So that is big context, because that has been left out by some aggregators. It definitely does say because he's not in Amorim's plans at the moment. So that's a player going, well, of course I'm up for leaving if I'm not going to play games. And I don't, you know, so it's not like some people yesterday were reporting it like it was a transfer request. It's not a transfer request. He loves Manchester United. He's been there since he was a kid, and he wants to stay at Manchester United, and he wants a contract. Man United probably don't want to pay the wages he wants. So there's a bit of a deadlock there. And we end up with this scenario where, look, journalists are part of the media as well. Like, just because David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano are transfer journalists, where do you think they get their information from? You know, it's not the most, it will be coming from representatives of players and clubs who have their own story to write. I think this is just posturing around a new contract. Man United want Mainoo to sign a new contract. Mainoo wants to sign a new contract. He hasn't played for 2 games. It's a massive distraction in the Man United fan base from the real issue, which is we need a midfielder and a goalkeeper. Instead, we've got this ridiculous Mainoo versus Amorim conversation, which I just find belongs. It's a shame the schools are closed, because this belongs in a school playground. It is preposterous. This is taking up time, but it's the media again. This is what the media do. They create an agenda to divide this fan base, and ultimately the real pattern is turn the Man United fan base against Ruben Amorim, who, I was a great comment on the United Stand show this morning from Nick B, because there is Nick P who's very good, and he was saying, what if Man United aren't picking him because he's refusing to sign a contract, and it's a Trent scenario where he's going to run it down? And I went, it's speculative, but it might be the case. But I don't think that. I just think this is like, this gets resolved in 24 hours when he plays against Grimsby and he plays well.
Yeah, look, I think there's so many theories going around. I saw a United fan I know and respect last night started sharing a picture of Rio Ngamua scoring a goal, saying, and there are Man United fans justifying Mainoo not playing, and look what this 16-year-old just did. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you even mean by that? Because most Man United fans rate the ability of Kobbie Mainoo. And then I got attacked. And it was, well, you've been justifying it, saying maybe he's not playing because they're sort of taking care of his body and physique. I said, well, that's not strictly what I said. When I host shows, I go through various theories and views, because especially being a host, it's important to put balance out there. Some people think this, some people think that. This is a theory that maybe it's for this reason. Maybe there are some underlying issues the sports scientists have picked up in the past. My actual opinion is I think it's wrong that he isn't getting minutes. I want to see him given a run of games in the team, is my actual
Especially
opinion.
Bruno playing like he is.
Yeah, Bruno's been awful. And I think that also, you know, if Bruno had been brilliant in his opening 2 games, the irony is this conversation would be very different without Mainoo getting minutes. So I don't disagree with people that he should be in. But I also think some people are doing too much, to an extent that when Rashford didn't get in the team for a couple of games under Ragnick and went straight out to Henry Winter and said that maybe he has to consider leaving, the same people defending Mainoo attacked Rashford because they didn't rate Rashford. And I've been talking about this loyalty thing all summer. We are only loyal to what we like. There's nothing to do with morals or ethics in this loyalty bullshit from football fans. It's, I hate Rashford when he was posturing to leave or posturing for a new deal when he used PSG to get the 300k a week, because you didn't rate Rashford. But because you rate Mainoo, him potentially posturing, his team telling the media he's open to leaving, because you agree that he should be playing and you rate him, suddenly you're supporting that behavior. And that's my issue in all of this. I have no personal issue with Kobbie Mainoo. I'm sure what I've just said is going to get twisted by the amoebas and the toaster people and the scumbags on X, but go for it. I have no issue with him. I want him to play. If it turns out this is posturing to get a better deal, if it turns out this is posturing to try and force his way into the first team, I'm against it, and he should be punished in the same way I've been requesting for every other player that behaves badly or their agents behave badly within the club do, because that isn't right. And for me, I hope this is resolved. I hope we keep him. I hope he signs a new deal, and I hope he's massively successful at Man United, because I think he's a fantastic player. But I also agree with you. United are not in a good space, and we haven't been for a while. This is a little bit, right now there's a little fire that's broken out, and we've got an option here. We can help put it out as fans, or we can throw petrol over it and start a forest fire that burns down half a city. And there's part of me that looks at some United fans online, and I'm like, do you even have to engage in all of this? Do you have to spend 2 or 3 hours ripping into your own club? You can say, I want Mainoo to play, but the way I see people siding with certain members of the mainstream media going in on this is absolutely crazy to me. And there's this tweet here that I wanted to show you that said about Kobbie Mainoo, because there was three. Chris Wheeler said Kobbie Mainoo has 3 options: attempt to oust Bruno Fernandes, wait for a potential manager change if Amorim doesn't work out, or consider leaving his boyhood club. The latter has become a real possibility. And the FPL Fraser here quote tweets says, how about being a squad option, learn the role and develop into a starting player in 1 or 2 years, like most young players are doing? When you see opinions like this get shut down and get a lot of abuse, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I just think some people want to see the world burn. And I've said this on the United Stand for years. We have
all right, Alfred.
yeah, Batman. Sometimes, a bit Amorim is sometimes the hero's got to be the villain. And I think things will get worse before they get better. And I know this season's going to be a roller coaster. I also know there's a legacy of people from last season who were Amorim out. And they've put their fake smiles on for pre-season because they've got to do content for that, and they've put their fake smiles on for transfers because they've got to grow off that. They can't sit on their arse for 3 months and say I'm Amorim out. They've got to be fake.
Yeah.
But the minute the football's back, the real them comes out. I told you so. I told you so. FC, and they're back, and they have a cult that follows them. But ultimately, answer me this: if Manchester United on Sunday, if Cunha doesn't hit the post and it goes in and we're 1-0 after 5 minutes, and then Bruno scores the penalty and it's 2-0, and we win that game 2-0, are people going Amorim out, Mainoo in, or are they going, we played brilliant against Arsenal, we've won 2-0 at Fulham, we'll probably beat Burnley, 7 from 9, we're going to get top 4. And it goes the other way. It goes the other way until you get beat by Man City at Etihad, and then it's Amorim out again. I don't know whether other clubs have this, but as a football club, we are absolutely lost in this. And people will say, you're part of the problem, United Stand. And I go, no, I'm a very emotional football fan when I watch football, and I react in a very emotional way. But I don't flip-flop. I don't go from one to the other. I was Jose in for ages, and then I was Jose out. I was Ollie in for ages, and then I was Ollie out. With Van Gaal, I was Van Gaal out very early, and it was a very toxic 5 months. But I make my mind up and I stick to it. What I can't do with is up, down, up, down. I mean, there's that bloody Goldstein on Talk Shit. He's meant to be a Man United fan. He used to work for MUTV. All he is now is a voice for hire. One day we're winning the league. The next day, it's a disgrace, and you know the manager needs to go. And it's like that. That's the modern media. That's what they do. And it's like it doesn't help this football club. And it makes me laugh because people say the negative stand, but if you actually watch it, of course you're going to get all the opinions in the live chat like you get here, and that's great. But the fundamental message from me and the presenters is that we're actually very consistent. You know, Ricky doesn't like Bruno, never has liked Bruno, never liked Rashford, but it's there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I do like Bruno, I just don't like him in the midfield, and I think he shouldn't be playing there. And we'll be very consistent on it.
You mentioned Andy Goldstein. It's one of the clips I had prepared for us today. Let's take a